Hi there. So time for Siobhan and I's Friday slot. Siobhan, how you doing?
I'm all good. I'm all good.
Fantastic. So I want us to talk about one of the things I thought it'd be good to chat about this week, Siobhan, is the reward that we give ourselves, right? Like the after the 30 days, right? And I've been thinking about this week because as you know in the group, we've got these 5 people that are all finishing this week, which is fabulous, right? So we've been sort of spending the week celebrating their achievements and setting them up with a plan going forward, and also looking at the next things that they want to get after, but recognizing the importance of doing the reward, right? So I know that you've been fabulous about doing that. So I want to ask you about the different things that you've done. But I just wanted to start off. If somebody's watching this, right, this is what most people think, and this is what I thought. Right. I've been alcohol free for 30 days, or I've achieved this milestone. That's great. I don't need anything. Right. That's what a lot of people say to me. I'm good. I'm not really, like somebody said earlier, I'm not really into this, I'm not really into that. I'm fine. And I think it's important to know like the science behind why we do need to have a reward, right? And it's not just because we should recognize our achievements, that is important, right? But the other thing is, if we're working towards a bigger goal, and if the goal is mastery over alcohol, then there's going to be longer than 30 days, right? So the reason why the 30 days is important to reward is if we do something significant, and for some people that can be, taking a day off work and lying on the couch and be like, hooray for me, I don't need to do anything today. And that could be like that will be a huge reward when we're like in a um life situation where we're really busy and we're busy at our job, we're busy looking after our family. Giving ourselves time can be amazing. So it doesn't need to be buying something, but it needs to be something specific. And the reason we do it, what the science proves, is that when we give ourselves a reward, and it's part of the thing we're giving ourselves a reward for, is a milestone on the way to a bigger goal. The times when we find it difficult, because we will get to the point of mastery, right? But there'll always be bumps along the road. There'll be things that happen, and it could be a good thing, it could be a holiday or a celebration, or it could be some stressful situation. When that happens, there'll be days this will feel harder. And having had that reward teaches our brain that this thing we're going for, this kind of getting control of our alcohol and the work that we're doing, is a good thing. So it's not just a nice to do for ourselves, but it's actually going to help us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
having said that, so first of all, tell me where you're at. Let's share about how long you've been alcohol free for.
700 days today.
That is unbelievable. It's so amazing. I just remember the first call that we had, and you
Yeah.
had,
Okay. Yeah.
I hope you don't mind me saying this, you had to decide between whether you were going to get control over alcohol or
Get a
do your
patio.
patio. I'm so glad that you chose the alcohol.
Yes. Yeah. Me too. Me too.
Fantastic. So that doesn't feel like 700, I guess that's more than 700 days in the first conversation, right?
Yeah.
So, wow, it's about nearly 2 years.
2 years
So,
since I signed up, pretty much.
excellent. So, tell me about, like, I want you to I know you've got an exciting reward lined up this week, right? But first of all, tell me, and this is a good test, right? So when I say it has to be something significant, so the people I was speaking to this week, I said to them, if we were to chat in 6 months' time and I asked you what your reward was, you would know what it was. That's a sign that's significant. So just putting you on the spot here, Siobhan. So what was your when you reached 30 days alcohol free, what was your reward?
My reward was a trip to Abba Voyage, but I didn't just, have a go and see the show. I had a speedboat trip on the Thames, followed by a lovely meal at Hawksmoor in Canary Wharf, which is like a bit of a floating restaurant, and then on to Abba Voyage. So I
Oh,
wanted it to be like fabulous because I'm actually a project manager in by trade. So recognizing milestones and achieving milestones is what I have to do in my day job. So I thought, well, let's do it in this as well.
Oh,
So
that's brilliant.
I am the queen of milestone rewarding myself. If there's a couple of zeros on the milestone, then it deserves a reward for me. So
Yeah,
and and like you say, it doesn't necessarily have to be something big or extravagant or cost. It can be just time for me. But I look at it as I've saved myself a lot of money because I don't drink anymore. So I'm going to treat myself in other ways.
that's brilliant. So,
Yeah.
because you don't, I know you were brought up in London, but you don't live in London anymore. So you came down to London for your 30 days. You came down to London for the day.
Uh, did I come down for the day? My dad still had a house in London, so I
Right.
stayed there. So it was just a quick drive down, go and have a fabulous fun packed day, go and sleep at my dad's house, get up in the morning and drive back again. But it's very doable in a day. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
decided to
excellent. And
drag it out a bit.
so when you think about that, so that was like 2 years ago. Like what, like when you think about doing that for yourself and having that reward, like what sticks out in your mind?
It was just a huge experience. It was fun, and the alcohol free, the whole being able to last the whole day, and not have the craving for alcohol. Not because when you have that first drink, you have a craving for another drink, and you find that you lose whatever day out you're spending because you're always thinking about having a drink. But there was none of that. It was what's next? What's next? Got this, then this, then this. What's next? And just chasing the fun. And it was a long day, but it was fabulous. It was absolutely fabulous.
That's brilliant. So that was your 30 days, right? Tell us about
Yeah.
some of the other. So the next
Um,
the next time we celebrate is 100. What did you do then?
I I'm I'm a girl who grew up in the late 80s, and so every cool band on Top of the Pops had a saxophone. So I decided that I wanted to play the saxophone, and I did. So I bought myself a saxophone and lessons to go with it. And so after 18 months of playing a saxophone, I've just passed my grade 3, which is quite good as well. But yeah, so my 100 days was saxophone. But at that time, I'd also set myself the challenge for, well, it wasn't even a challenge. I'd targeted my 1 year milestone, and tickets for Pink went on sale. So I bought them, I think it was 9 months before my 1 year. And then I had something to aim for as well, because I'd already bought the tickets, spent a huge amount of money on tickets, and thought, well, I've got to be alcohol free for a year now because I've already got the tickets to go and see Pink.
Brilliant. How was the concert?
Fabulous. So good. So
Oh,
good.
fantastic. So there's we probably need to have a longer session to go through all your awards, right? But like let's
Yes.
let's let's fast forward. So this week you're celebrating 700 days.
Yes.
Tell us about the celebration. What's happening?
Uh, I'm going to have afternoon tea at the Savoy tomorrow, and then I'm going to see Sister at the musical tomorrow evening, stay in a fabulous hotel in London, and then come back on Friday and look forward to 2 years because so it's going to be
Oh,
two
that's
years in a couple of
brilliant.
months. So
And like so the Savoy, is that something you've done before? Is it something
no,
you've always fancied
it's
doing?
no, it's something I fancied. I mean, there's been a TV show about the Savoy. It's all frightfully gorgeous and lovely, and it's just so quintessentially British. It's just one of those things,
Yeah.
afternoon tea. And if you're going to do afternoon tea, do it and do it in style. That's what I say.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds, yeah, do it in the Savoy, like where else, right?
Where
So
else would you go?
you're doing that and then Sister Act. Sorry, you go.
Sis- Sister at the musical. Sister at the musical. And I've already checked out the alcohol-free options at the Savoy. They do a fabulous sparkling tea. Uh, so rather than it's quite annoying when people say, a glass of champagne. No, a glass of sparkling tea. And I've already put that on my request. Alcohol-free tea, please. So
You need to let me know how, like, I imagine somewhere like the Savoy, they're going to look after you, right? So they should be used to people with lots of different preferences, right? Like there'll be
Yes.
people from all over the world that go there. So it shouldn't be a shock to have someone that wants to enjoy it without alcohol. I mean, it says afternoon tea and you're having tea, right? It doesn't say afternoon champagne. So
But it just seems that, you know, every celebration, you know, it involves fizz, but, you know, the fizz doesn't have to contain alcohol. So
yeah.
as long as it's a nice glass, tastes lovely, and then wash it all down with a cup of tea. I don't think they'll be serving the tea in mugs tomorrow, but
You need to take some pictures. Take some pictures
okay.
and let us know how you got on.
Yes.
Fantastic. And what advice, so being a veteran of marking all these milestones, right? So first of all, getting to 700 days is like fabulous. And what's quite funny is most people probably stop rewarding themselves somewhere along the way. I absolutely love that you're keeping it going. Like it's just brilliant. It's part of your personality. It's fabulous. So if somebody was listening to this and they're in the early stages, right? What would you say to them?
Early stages, the reward is for being alcohol free is huge by itself. But I do find it great to mark milestones. So because it's great as a reflection. I can look back and say, I did this, and these are things that I wouldn't ordinarily do for myself. But you know, when you become alcohol free, you learn to put yourself front and center. You learn to, you know, because we are important. I'm an
Yeah,
important person. And I want to reward myself for being an important person. You know,
fantastic.
and it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have, like you say, a day out for myself, a day laying on the sofa. It's not really my thing. I'd rather go out and, you know, into
Yeah,
nature,
and everyone,
anything at all. But
yeah,
it's important to mark a day.
yeah,
Stick a day
yeah,
in the
yeah,
calendar.
absolutely.
It's for me. It doesn't matter what you do in this day. It's for me.
Yeah, and what's nice is right in the saxophone is completely different from like having a day in London, but they're both really important to you. And I think you're right, that thing of reflection, right? So you're able to just take a step back and it will, the benefits for your self-esteem that you're like,
Mm,
wow, I'm getting to do this thing because I took this action and it's totally changed my life.
it has. It really has. Because these are things that I wouldn't have thought of doing for myself. You know, because Uh, and you know, because the money I've saved from becoming alcohol free is huge,
Yeah,
huge.
fantastic. All right, well, Siobhan, thanks very much for sharing. Like, you need to let us know how you got on and also share some pictures as well. So
I will.
well done. Thanks very much.
Thank you.